Hello, world, and hello, amazing Philippines. Good day to all. And of course, this is now again the time that we're going to discuss our lesson for, okay, of course, today. And this is again Sir A or Sir Mar. Okay, and of course, happy to serve you all. Okay, as what I've mentioned, we are now, of course, with our lesson number three, of course, of module one. Okay, and of course, the specific title of the lesson is The Roles of Technology, okay, for Teaching and Learning. Okay, so before we're going to have our objectives for today, okay, listen for this probably introduction. So I have a questions. Are the students of today interested, no, to use technology in order to learn? Or though teachers have the skills to use technology to enhance their teaching? Okay, with the fourth industrial revolution, nobody, of course, can deny the influence of technology in our lives. And of course, it can be seen. And as future teachers of the 21st century, it is high time that you prepare, of course, yourselves to integrate, of course, technology in the classroom because that's the must. And using technology, of course, is a tool and, of course, a catalyst for change. Okay. And probably you will ask, what then are the roles of technology for teaching and learning? Let's first have these two lesson outcomes. Okay, the first is identified roles of technology in the teaching and learning, and the second one is appreciating the value of technology in supporting students' learning. So whether we like it or not, or we cannot deny the fact rather, okay, that of course technology can support of course students learning better. Okay, so that's it. I have here a question. What is technology for you as a student? So there's a lot of things probably that will come out, no? Okay, in your mind when we say, of course, technology. Okay, let's have one probably word that will describe technology. Okay, you can have some words such as a tool, no, catalyst. Okay, a change probably. Okay, you can have technology is awesome, wonderful, amazing, and so on. So that's it. That's technology. Okay, so as of course, teaching and learning go together. Okay, we're going to explore what would be, of course, the roles of technology for teachers and teaching, and of course for learners and for learning. And before we're going to start, of course, we will first define what's technology. So you can see here, and in our previous discussion, when we say technology, it is a mix of process and products that we can use in the application of knowledge. Take note, there is, of course, application of what we have learned, and that's known as of course, knowledge. And it includes tools from, of course, the pencil and the paper to the latest electronic gadgets and tools for practical tasks. That's according to Dr. Bilbao in 2019. And as we probably have discussed already also in the previous lesson, educational technology is the use of technology in teaching and learning. And it includes, of course, both the non-digital, okay, and of course, digital, okay, in the teaching and learning process. Okay, and as what I've mentioned, no, using technology is a tool and of course a catalyst for change. And according to Stossic in 2015, there are three educational technology domains. Okay, the first is of course as a tutor, no, together with of course the teacher. Technology of course can support the teacher to teach another person or technology. Okay, but of course it should be programmed by the teacher. Okay, but through that, of course, it can be tutor at its own. So for example, the teacher will simply switch on or switch off radio programs, even television, no? Programs or plays DVDs or CDs that contain educational program. So there are of course an online tutorial, okay, educational programs that we can use. Again, the first is technology is a tutor. We have also, okay, technology as a teaching tool. So if you notice, okay, uh, like a tutor, technology, of course, is a teaching tool, but of course can never replace a teacher. Okay, take note, you are the best teaching tool. If we're going to refer you as, of course, the instructional material, you're the best teaching material. So like any other tool, it is being used to facilitate and lighten the work of the teacher. I like that one. And the third is technology is a learning tool. So as a learning tool, it makes, of course, the learning easy and effective. And it can produce learning outcomes that call for technology assisted. Okay. Teaching. So here, of course, even the teachers who are teaching can, of course, utilize similar tools for learning. So the same, okay, as a learning tool, it is, of course, very interesting that even the elderly, of course, use these tools for learning for life. I like that one, no? Okay. And we have roles of technology for teachers and teaching. So there are, of course, numerous the roles rather that technology plays in the job of teachers. So as a tool, technology has opened wider, of course, avenues in management of resources and management of learning. Likewise, of course, it has modernized the teaching learning environment in schools. And here are some, of course, of the examples of the of roles, no? Myriad of roles that technology can do for teaching and, of course, for teachers. Number one is, of course, technology provides innermost support to the teacher as facilitator of learning. Okay, here it is very clear that your role is, of course, facilitator. So it transforms a passive classroom, okay, into an active and interactive one. I like that one, no? When you have, of course, an active or an interactive classroom, yeah, I think there is, of course, better participation of students. Okay, with audiovisual aids, the charts and models, even classroom, okay, smart classrooms for that matter, and etc. Okay, so of course it can involve e-learning, okay, classroom that probably motivates and increase attention level of learners. Okay, and the second one is technology has modernized the teaching learning environment. Okay, so the teachers here are assisted and supplemented with appropriately structured materials for daily activities, no? Okay, and there are, of course, varied available technology-driven resources, okay, which can be utilized for remedial lesson, okay, or activities. Likewise, now there are also a lot of technology-driven resources, okay, that can be used for enrichment purposes. Like remember, enrichment purposes. Okay, and remedial lesson or activities, no? This can be used the number two. And you can make search also for the examples of this in the web. Okay. The third one that we can have, yeah, is technology improves teaching, learning process, and ways of teaching. Okay. So this, of course, will, of course, with the arrays of teaching methods and strategies that can use technology, okay, which are, of course, found compatible with learning styles. So that's it. Okay. And this will make, of course, the active teaching more efficient and effective. Take note, effective and efficient in teaching. Okay, so the multiple intelligence theory rather of Howard Gardner tells us that there is genius, okay, in every child. I like that one. Okay, and this implies, of course, that there must be varied ways of, okay, teaching, as there are many varied ways of learning. Yeah. Again, there are varied ways of teaching and there are varied ways of learning. Okay, and all, okay, the learning styles can find support from technology. Okay. So that, of course, teaching will be more effective and efficient. Again, teaching and learning becomes effective and efficient for that matter. The number four, technology opens a new fields in educational researches. Okay, so these areas of teaching, okay, testing and evaluation are enhanced by, of course, technologies for teaching, okay, and learning. So current educational researchers will no longer find, of course, difficulty in interpreting test, assessment, and other evaluation results. Okay, there are, of course, available now programs that can analyze and interpret results, okay, which, of course, with the use of speed and accuracy. You know, I like the word, yeah. there is speed and accuracy. Okay, and of course, reference retrievals is also hastened, no? Because many of the research materials are in digital form. So technology has also provided, okay, access to big data that can, of course, be processed, okay, for problem solving and, of course, inquiry. So that's it. Number five is that technology adds to the competence of teachers and inculcates, of course, scientific outlook. I like that one. This is very positive. So through the utilization of theories of learning and intelligence, okay, which are of course explained in the references uploaded in the net. So the teachers are encouraged to imbibe skills. Take note, to imbibe skills to source information with speed and accuracy. So very good. Okay. It talks about, of course, the speed and accuracy. When you say accuracy, being accurate, no? When we talk about speed, yeah, how fast. Okay, and of course, number six, technology supports, okay, teacher professional development. So with, of course, the demand of continuing professional development for teachers, the availability of technology provides alternative ways, no? Or professional um, way of attending professional development online. So for those who are involved as providers of continuing, of course, professional development like trainers, facilitators, organizers, they can, of course, level up, okay, or enhance their delivery systems, okay, with the support of technology tools. So these are, of course, again, the roles of technology for teachers and teaching. Okay. Let's have now the roles of technology for learners and learning. Okay, so the first is, of course, support. It supports learners to learn how to learn in their own, okay, way. And here, all teachers fully understand that subject matter, okay, or content is a means to achieve the learning outcomes. And there are, of course, three categories of knowledge, okay, according to Egbert in 2009. So these are, of course, the declarative knowledge. We have also the structural knowledge, and the last is procedural knowledge. Okay, declarative, of course, knowledge consists of the discrete pieces of information that answers the questions what, who, and of course, when and where. So that's it, declarative. So it is often learned through memorization of the facts. Okay, drills and practice, and it can be learned by simple mnemonics or conceptual maps, declarative. Okay, then we have, of course, structural knowledge that consists of facts or pieces of declarative knowledge, okay, put together to attain some form of meaning. For example, of declarative knowledge is the pencil, no? So the idea that evolved from the pencil is the understanding that it is something used to write. So that's it. Pencil is, of course, something used to write your, okay, information or anything that you have. Now, this, of course, is referred to as the structural knowledge, and it can be presented by concept maps, categorization, and or classification. The last is, of course, the procedural knowledge. Okay, it is known as the knowledge and action, no? Okay, or the knowledge of how to do something. Okay, so it is based on facts but learned through the process of procedure or procedural knowledge. So examples, okay, include how to drive a car, okay, how to use a cell phone, or okay, how to speak English well. Okay, and procedural knowledge is indicated by a performance task or graphical representation of a concept. So that's it. Okay, so number two is technology enhances learners' communication skills through, of course, social interactions. Okay, so this is, of course, described or commonly described as the transmittal of information from one, okay, person to another, a single individual or groups, no, of individuals. So according to Shirley, okay, 2003 in Egbert 2009, there are three basic communication patterns. So we have, of course, the first is the point-to-point two-way or one-to-one, like, okay, we can have the internet chat, okay, phone conversation, or even face-to-face conversation. Second one is one-to-many, okay, outbound, like, of course, lecture, television, okay, or television. And take note, there is no social interaction with one-to-many outbound. Okay, and the last is many-to-many. Okay, we can have examples of these are the group discussion, the bus session, the heads together, and of course, it provides opportunities for interaction. So here, of course, the social interaction occurs in two ways, where okay, the participants ask for clarification, argue, challenge, okay, each other and work towards a worst common understanding. So the social interaction through communication okay, occurs through technology, which is directly between two persons or via email, okay, or a cell phone or other communication technology. Okay, and it can also occur around technology like students discussing about a problem posed by a software program or with, of course, support of technology. So like teachers okay, and students interacting about, of course, the worksheet printed from a website. So in all, of course, the three modalities, communication occurs and technology is involved. So that's it. Okay, we have, of course, benefits derived from technology-supported communication. Letter A that we can have, or number one that we can have is it enables any teacher to guide learners virtually. I like that one. And making, of course, learning unlimited because communication and social interaction go beyond the school day or a school environment. So there is, of course, follow-up now. And letter B enhances students' freedom to express and exchange ideas freely without, of course, snooping eyes okay, of the teacher face to face. So that's it. No, they are, of course, free okay, to ask questions or express their ideas. Then number three is it enables learners to construct meaning from joint experiences between the two or more participants in communication. Okay. Letter D, of course, it helps learners solve problems from multiple sources. Since there is, of course, limitless sources of information that the teacher can direct or refer to the learner. And letter number five is, of course, it teaches learners to communicate well with politeness. I like that word politeness. So taking turns in sending, of course, information and giving appropriate feedback for that matter. And feedbacking is, of course, the best. Okay. Then we have the next is it enhances rather okay collaboration by using communication strategies with wider community and individuals in a borderless learning environment. So that's it. And of course, lastly, it develops critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity throughout, of course, the communication. So that's it. So here we have also now the number three, the technology okay, upgrades learners' higher order thinking skills. I like this actually. Okay, it refers to the critical okay, thinking, the problem solving, and of course, creativity. Okay, on the part of course, the uh, teacher and even the students. Okay, here we have, of course, the critical thinking, which is the higher order, of course, thinking skills. No, and it refers to the ability to interpret, explain, okay, analyze, evaluate, infer, and of course, self-regulate in order to make good decision. Okay, and with the use of course, technology, one will, of course, be able to evaluate the credibility of the source, okay, ask appropriate questions and become, of course, open-minded, okay, defend a position on an issue, and of course, draw conclusion with caution. Okay, all of these, of course, competencies are covered by Bloom's taxonomy of analysis, synthesis, and of course, evaluation. So that's it. Okay. So the we have, of course, by having these, no, critical thinking, we should, of course, ask the right question. Okay. So ask question that, of course, develop critical thinking. So most often, of course, teachers okay, ask question to find out if students can simply repeat the information from the lesson. Okay, although of course these are necessary questions like what, who, okay, and where, these do not, of course, develop critical thinking. So critical thinking questions, of course, should ask for clarity. I like that one. It should ask for clarity, accuracy, precision, and of course, breadth. Okay, when we say, of course, clarity, okay. Um, Example question is that, can you give examples of Okay, when we say accuracy, no? What pieces of evidence support your claim? Accurate. Okay, what about precision? Exact probably talks about how much. Okay, when we say breadth, no? What do you think will, of course, the other group say about the issue? So that's it. Okay, letter B that we can have, or the next is the next thing probably that we can have for critical thinking is use critical thinking tasks with appropriate level of challenge. Okay, so teachers should be mindful of the readiness of the students. Huh, should be challenging. Students who have higher ability may find the task too easy. Okay, thus getting bored, of course, early. And while those who have low ability may find, of course, the task too difficult. Thus, okay, this is a need to have activities that are, of course, appropriate for learners. So these can be determined by interview, observation, and other forms, no, to determine the level of readiness. So what are the simple ways that teacher should do? Okay, the teacher should, of course, number one, vary the question asked. Okay, the second is introduce new technologies. Okay, number three, we need to modify the learners grouping. How do you group your students? Okay, then modify the critical thinking task. Okay, and lastly, of course, encourage curiosity. I like that one. Okay, we have also here, no? Okay, critical thinking. So when we say, of course, critical thinking, it is the ability to interpret and explain, no? Okay, analyze, evaluate, and self-regulate to make, of course, a good decision. And there is also, of course, problem solving. It is a systematic approach to defining the problem and, of course, creating a vast number of possible solutions without, of course, charging these solutions to solve the problem. So that's it. And there is, of course, the creativity. Okay, for us, no, it actually characterizes as involving the ability to think, okay, flexibly, fluently, originally, and elaborately. I like these words to think, okay, flexibly, fluently, originally, and elaborately. So it involves, of course, feelings. Do you agree? Okay, it involves feelings, beliefs, knowledge, and of course, motivation for that matter. And of course, we have terms that we need to define like flexibly. When we say flexibly, it means being able to use many points of view. Yeah, you're flexible. A teacher should be flexible. Then fluently means be able to generate more ideas. The question is, are you fluent? Okay, then originally means being means able to generate new ideas. Okay, are you original? Okay. Next is, of course, elaborately, which means able to add details. So the more we need to become, of course, have the elaboration. So we need to elaborate things and so on for better understanding. Okay, we have, of course, the seven creative strategies, no, according to Osborne in 1963. Although this is old, but however, of course, we can still use this one to become creative. So the first, okay, characteristic is that, no, or strategy that we can have is we need to substitute. Here, of course, we find something else to replace to do what it does. Okay, what it does rather. So supposing, okay, you have plans, no, supposing your plan A, no, you need to have also plan B, plan C for that matter. Supposing plan A will not materialize. Then, of course, next is combine. We blend two things that do not usually go together. Okay. Then we have, of course, adapt. That is look for other ways these can be, of course, used. No, we need to be adaptive. No, and the next is M, which is modify, magnify, or minify. Okay, so this makes a change. Okay, we should not be afraid, okay, of taking change, or we need to enlarge or probably decrease, no? Then put to another use. We find, of course, other uses, and E is for eliminate. Okay, it means reducing or removing. And of course, the last is R, which is reverse. So that's turning side upside down or inside out and front side back. Again, we have, of course, seven creative strategies that we can use. S, okay, for substitute, C for combine, A for adapt, M for modify, magnify, and minify, P is to put to another use, E is eliminate, and of course, R is reverse. Okay. We have this um, model that we need to follow, no? Okay, in teaching with technology. So there are actually four components that we need to have. Okay, the first is of course the content, okay, which talks about of course what cognitive levels, okay, thus we have of course for our students. What about discipline, no? Okay, when we talk about of course the discipline here, so we talk about the subject. Okay, what subject? Okay, for example, we have English, math, no, science, and etc. Okay, or what topic? So it talks about the discipline. The second component that we can have is of course technology. Okay, the question, does we have technology, or our classroom or our school have technology? Okay, so if there is, of course, we need to question, or we need to ask, what types of technology do we have? Okay, what about technology uses? So these are the things that probably we can ask in terms of technology. The third component is the instructor. Yeah, you who will become, of course, teachers soon, or your sir ambas for that matter. So here, of course, we probably talk about, of course, our role as teacher. What is your role? Are you the facilitator there? Okay. What about technology skill level? Yeah, we have technology, and of course, you are there as teacher. But the question is, what is your skill level about technology? Okay, and what about your availability? Are you available? Yeah, that's the question. And last component that we can have is, of course, the student, and it talks about the learning styles, okay, even technology skill level, and of course, technology access. So that's it. Okay, what learning styles do we have for our students? Okay, what about their level, no, of technology skill? Okay, and do we have, or our student could probably have technology access? That's a big question. Okay, so we need to, of course, think of the scenario wherein our students, okay, are at stake also. Again, we have four components of teaching with technology. We need to have content, we need to have technology, the instructor, and of course, lastly, the student. Okay, the next question is that what should, no, a teacher to do? What should teacher do, of course, to support student creativity? So the first is we need to provide an enriched environment for our students. Okay, then teach creative thinking strategies, then allows learners to show what they can do, and of course, use creativity with technology. Okay, so further, of course, teachers can do the following, not to develop or enhance, okay, the child's critical thinking, even problem solving for that matter, okay, and of course, creativity. So we have here, of course, the suggestions. Number one, we need to encourage students to find and use information, okay, from variety of sources, both online and offline. So we have, of course, varied resources for students to use. Next is assist students to compare information from different sources. I like that one. Okay, then allow students to reflect through different delivery modes like writing, speaking, or drawing. Okay, for example, in your activity, no, in your class, and you have activity. So sometimes, of course, you can have speaking. You have also writing. Students can write, of course, the summary or probably a paragraph. Okay, if you don't like to have that for students, okay, like writing, you can have it for speaking. So you can let students recite, no, or memorize a verse, no, a quotation, and so on, or can describe a thing, and so on, and etc. Other than, of course, speaking and writing, we can also have drawing for that matter. So students could draw. Okay, supposing you wanted to have, of course, the buod in Filipino, no? And you can have, of course, by drawing it also. So you become, of course, creative in whatever things or tasks you can have for your students. Okay, then use real experiences and materials to draw tentative decision. And of course, lastly, involve students in creating and of course, questioning assessment. So these are, of course, the five, no, things that we can do now to develop and enhance critical, of course, uh, problem solving and creativity for that matter. Enhance critical thinking. So that's it. Kindly add critical thinking there. Okay. So to do, of course, this, the teacher should see to it, no? Okay, that the right questions are being asked, and students' tasks should be appropriate to the level of the challenge, and of course the curiosity is encouraged. So of course there are several critical thinking tools, okay, and technology software that can support critical thinking skills, and some of these will be encountered in the next module. Like for example, encourages digital production projects, okay, popularizes e-learning modalities, and of course enhances global awareness of and citizenship for that matter. Okay, for our activity, no, today, okay, you're going to have only task one. So you are going to write your experience as a learner rather. Okay, so you write an essay about your personal experience and how technology has influenced, of course, your life from elementary, high school, and college. Okay, you do it in a piece of paper, probably bond paper, short size, and of course, you are going to pass that next meeting. Okay, the task two is not, of course, for you because at this time you are just, of course, the student or you are the students, okay, in my class. So that's it. And of course, I hope you learned something because that is this is the end of course, our discussion. I hope there's a lot of things that you have, of course, taken from this video lecture. Okay, for our references, you can, of course, refer to the following posted in our, of course, screen. So, again, thank you so much for listening. Terima kasih from Indonesia. Madamong salamat from, of course, Iloilo. Okay, and God bless us all. Bye-bye. Okay, and thank you for listening. Okay, God bless everybody. Thank you so much.